Hi, Carly. So I wanted to show you the steps I was going to go through to look up some stuff on ADHD for you here. So this is um, this is the library's website, and if you look there, this I went to the HCC library website, and then I'm going to go to the online database. Next thing I'm going to do is go to EBSCOhost. Then I'm going to hit select all and continue. And so this is selecting all the databases that the library has, and it's pretty much that page earlier was similar. So then I'm going to put ADHD and then search. Okay, so if you'll remember from the earlier classes, we want to limit our searches. First of all, let's just limit it to the full text is available. That's where it has a PDF like this, or some kind of downloadable form where we can actually access the document. The next thing is the publication date. So that's like 1970, and I really want 2015 to 2020, the past 5 years, because I want the most current info possible. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is also limit to scholarly or peer-reviewed journals. So now I'm still at like 11,000 on my search results, and that's way too many for me to kind of feasibly look through. So I'm going to see if there's anything else I can limit it by. Maybe subject. There's 2,000 on attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, which is what the acronym is. Maybe this one is children. Descriptive statistics, questionnaires, research funding, comorbidity. Okay, so if I hit more, then I see all this, and this is the article number, right? I don't know what direction you're wanting to go in, but it seems like this would help you narrow down, like, oh, I'm looking for mental depression and psychiatric diagnosis, and maybe I need some statistics. So then you would update that. Okay, so now we have 637 results. Okay, that's perfect because it's like you can look through. That's a decent number of we're zeroing in on the topic or a topic. So assessing attention deficit hyperactivity disorder in the university setting. Okay, so now what I'm looking for is to find something that is the amount of pages I want to read. Okay, this is 3 pages, or 4 pages, which might be short. It might be that there's like a lot of text on the 4 pages. Okay, look, I mean, it's 5 pages, but it looks like it's a difficult read. Oh, it looks like there's a table, so this is maybe some statistics, which, this probably is a little more scientific than what you want to read, especially on something like this. Maybe you're looking more in a different direction. So here's another one on college students, maternal parenting style, giftedness, and ADHD identification. Okay, so this seems interesting. You see now this one is, 13 pages. We'll open it just to see. I'm already seeing some data, but it doesn't look like it's a big study. It's just going over data, I think, that other people have done. Again, this one might look a little too scientific or technical. So what I think I want to do is see if I can further limit this search. Let's go to publisher and see what that is. I don't know anything about that. What else could we search by? We could get rid of the psychiatric diagnosis. Let's just go with mental depression and see what that yields us. Get rid of the statistics. I think the statistics is probably what was pulling up a lot of that data-driven stuff. Okay, so this is 10 pages. cross-informant sex and subtype differences. So that already seems like it's a specific study about gender and how that is impacted. So maybe if that's the direction you're going in, there we see that maternal parenting again, irritability associated with later depression. Seeing a lot of the sciences stuff. I really think maybe if I were to know more about the direction you were going in, that might help to determine which of these articles would be good. Because see, like I just clicked on children, and that gives us a smaller search result. And maybe some of these, like a psychological, would be better. Psychological journal would be better than like a scientific one or something in terms of like, do you want to be reading a lot of data? Because it looks like that's where all this is. So maybe even up here in ADHD, let's go back and see what some of like ADHD in the classroom. Maybe that would yield a different result for us. Okay, so this is like an article in a journal of education. Okay, it doesn't have the, oh, here, kind of off screen for you, but download full text. Okay, so this is 8 pages. It's talking about South Africa. I can assume this is probably like challenges that South Africa faces with ADHD in schools and education. There was a study done. The study seems pretty simple, like based on language groups or something, or ethnicity. You could read that and then maybe compare something like, oh, this is what they do in South Africa, but in America, you know, and compare it to another article later or something in your research, or based on the documentary you watched, you know. You can say, like, this is a different perspective by looking at this African perspective. Okay, so I can see why you're maybe overwhelmed in this if this is what you've been searching for. I'm wondering now. Let's clear the search results. Let's do. Let's just search it like that and see if that changes anything. I don't know what happened. Search. There we go. Yeah, it seems like just searching ADHD or attention deficit hyperactivity disorder is just not really going to yield what you need in terms of like everything is super scientific on it, and I don't know what direction you're really going on. So maybe you can get on and play with that, or you could hit on another keyword. Like that's kind of what the keywords are for in terms of when you watch the documentary. What are some other directions you're wanting to go with ADHD, and then maybe that could help refine the search. So let's do. I don't even know. You know, I would just be guessing. So I think you're just gonna have to get back on here and start searching around and modifying your search in terms of the keywords. You know, and it looks like the keywords that are associated with it are medication, treatment, adults, children. So whatever direction you're going to go in there, you might do that. Then people often say that Wikipedia is not necessarily a good source and I don't think it is a good source, but it is a starting point. And so if we go to Wikipedia, and then what we're going to do is look for ADHD right there. Okay, and then what you can do by reading through the Wikipedia page is possibly come to some more keywords. Like I see coping skills here, symptoms, ADHD management. So then maybe you go back to the academic search, the database search, and you're looking for some of these keywords that then are associated with ADHD. That could help lead you in a different direction to sort through some of the articles that are there. And then another thing, I mean, I'll just totally go to the bottom of Wikipedia and look. I call it like pirating these sources, but here, these are like LinkedIn sources in some cases where you can find the book or the article. And then I would say, hey, this is what was used as documentation for the Wikipedia page. So then I'm going to see if it's available on that database that I have access to through the library. And so then suddenly I'm here thinking pharmacotherapy of emotional dysregulation in adults with ADHD, a systematic review and meta-analysis. Again, that sounds too difficult. So a lot of this might be, again, too technical. I mean, at this point, if this is where I were at, I would just say I'm going to abandon this topic, because I'm like trying to, unless you're wanting to really read all this technical research that's broken down into the studies of patients and individuals and comes out with the data and results, because it seems like it's going to be kind of difficult to zero in on academic research that's not super technical or super scientific. I mean, this looks like history of attention deficit disorder, but I mean, it's going to be, that would be kind of hard. You're wanting multiple sources on this, so maybe that would be a good one, depending on what other sources you have and what other sources you have access to. It looks like I found this. There's an abstract you can read on it. It has some keywords. There's the introduction. This is the whole article linked right in from Wikipedia, you know. And maybe that is one that you want to use. And again, it seems somewhat technical though. Okay, it's becoming a very long video, so I'm just going to stop. But you know, I'll share this video with you, and then you can go from there.